welcome everybody. It is Nvidia earnings day, and I have very, very dark premonitions about the market right now. So I brought in the boys to help me figure out if the world is about to die. Is Nvidia going to kill us all? So I have Derrick Oldensmith, JR Romero, and Sammy Abusad with me today. How are you guys doing today?
Doing great. The earnings plays from yesterday worked really well today. So let's. I'm just downloading the earnings list right now. We'll see what else is reporting besides Nvidia, since you just reminded me that we're going to talk about it. So yeah, everything is good on my end.
Okay, so now I'm going to start with JR. So JR, I see you've been posting on Twitter about a possible liquidity crunch coming, possibly courtesy of the Bank of Japan. Should we be scared?
No. Man up, you're a day trader, son.
I'm not a day trader.
You should be excited.
I'm too emotionally unstable to be a day trader.
Are you still long Oracle, by the way?
No, all right, so long story short, I bought Oracle calls at right before it collapsed, and then I sold them right before it skyrocketed. So it was a total shit show from top to bottom. So Oracle was a total mess for me.
Michael, you're the most honest day trader I've ever seen.
Listen, when they I have lots of enemies out there, and there is nothing they would like more than to catch me in a lie. So I am happy to share all the ridiculous screw ups I have in my trading account, and I don't even think that makes the top 20. So, okay, so Sammy, you were definitely coming into this week on the cautious side. Are you still feeling that way?
This week? Yeah, I don't see a reason to be bullish. We haven't had any follow through to the upside. So wait for just 2 green bars first on the daily chart before actually getting bullish. Even today's rally, you see how it got hit hard. So I don't think it's necessarily the time to be bullish, but we'll find out after 4 o'clock this afternoon.
Okay, Derrick, do you get the sense this market is? And I feel like a friggin' broken record, but it just feels exhausted, like the market itself, or maybe I'm talking about myself actually, but things just kind of feel worn out. I mean, we see a lot of the dog crap like BMNR and MicroStrategy, those types of things getting wrecked.
Yeah, I mean, you were very bullish last time we spoke, though, so that's a pretty quick about face that you did there. Yeah, I mean, the market is definitely going through a little bit of a character change. We've triggered some forced systematic selling, and that's just a very heavy flow. At the same time, November, December is a really tricky month to be pushing things to the short side. So I'm not extremely bearish. I'm a little bit more neutral here because you got corporate buybacks buying back $7-8 billion worth of stock per day. But as we get more into 2026, I've got some bigger concerns on what's going on with AI, the AI CapEx spend, the need of Google, Amazon, Meta to raise massive amounts of capital in the bond market, and the potential of them slowing down their corporate buybacks, which has been, again, the #1 buyer of stocks in the entirety of the market. So it's a little bit interesting. I feel like this volatility that we're seeing here in November, which is normally so strong, is a little bit of just a taste of what we're going to be in for next calendar year.
Okay, all right. So we need to talk about our friend Nvidia because it is coming tonight. Now, JR, you've been an outspoken bull on AI for years. I remember you predicted Nvidia hitting 200 way long ago. What do people want to hear from Nvidia tonight?
I think they want the reiteration of about 2 weeks ago. Jensen Huang made a very bullish prediction in terms of gross revenue for Nvidia over the 5 next quarters. I think the market wants that reiterated. And I think the market also wants loosening on to hear of news of loosening on exports, and I think Jensen Huang's been telegraphing that with all his visits to Washington and all this chumming up with Trump. So if we don't get that, I think it's going to be a problem. Nvidia keeps on beating expectations, but the margin by which it beats expectations has been shrinking. And I think there's going to be a breaking point where they beat on earnings and they sell off anyways. And with the amount of, exaggerated panic, in my opinion, regarding the AI bubble, it's going to cause problems. There's an AI bubble if you look at QBTS or RGTI or OKLO or any of these nonsense companies that work out of a shack in Brooklyn. There isn't an AI bubble when you're talking about Nvidia and AMD. So I think the market's going to have to, come to its senses and stop being a kabuki drama queen.
I mean, yeah, I think people need to also understand how the media works, and like probably one of the most profitable stories you can write is the AI bubble is about to pop. Like, there's not much to gain by showing things equally balanced. Okay, so Sammy, I'll move on to you. So from like a technical perspective, what do you think of Nvidia here?
It's very weak. I don't like it higher. I think it's lower. The only issue is if you look at Nvidia and the market, they've pulled back to the rising 20 on the weekly chart. That's usually a good place to look to play long. So, but the market, Nvidia, they don't look good to me. So I'm not going to play it long for sure. Will I play it short? It doesn't have the setup, it doesn't have a good setup, doesn't have the good location that I look for. So I'm not going to, but it's too weak. I'm staying put. I mean, I'm not going to play it.
Okay, Derrick, how about you? Are you interested in playing Nvidia like long or short into the report? Do you think there's an edge?
Not really. Honestly, I want to be super excited about this Nvidia report, and I'm not honestly that excited about it. The 180 level has just been this massive support zone on the downside, so it'll be interesting to see if we're able to lose that 180 on the downside if the report is a little bit of a disappointment. And for sure, this Nvidia report has the chance to really change the entire feel of the market, make us get back to being a lot more bullish, or I think break us down further than what we've already seen in November. But at the same time, I kind of think that it's going to end up being a little bit of a sloppier, more non-event, which we'll see what happens on it, obviously. But that's just my general feel going into it.
Okay, let's talk about crypto. So every single day, I tell myself I should buy puts on BMNR because it looks like a piece of crap, and then I don't do it, and then I look at it the next day and it sounds like another 5%. Like, is this a dark harbinger for risk assets overall? And I'll start with you, Sammy, because you've talked in the past about how like Bitcoin can often lead equity. So if Bitcoin is going down, equities tend to follow.
I've been saying that for a long time. I have never seen a top in the market that was not preceded by a top in Bitcoin, meaning Bitcoin 100% of the time leads the market from what I've seen since it started trading. And we saw Bitcoin break out and fail way back. I mean, how long ago was that? I mean, October. And the market didn't care very much, but it's not like the market was also making new highs. It was just staying near the all-time high, but Bitcoin was already dropping. And now Bitcoin is in full crash mode, and the market, we see it follow suit. Yesterday, somebody reached out to me and said, I'm thinking about buying Solana. And can you look at it for me? And it's a family member, so I somebody in my extended family. So I looked at it for him, and I said, look, it's at a good spot at support, but it doesn't feel like we have a bottom at the moment at all. And so I would wait. I'd wait for $100. Basically, I said 105 or so. Maybe it'd be a much better spot for Solana. So I think Bitcoin, is definitely what led the market's top. or the sell-off in the market, and I think we're not done yet. I think we still look lower, even though we're at a good spot for a bounce in the market and also in Bitcoin. But I don't think we're done yet.
JR, what says you about you? You've made some big Bitcoin predictions in the past, including the move to 126,000, which you love to remind me about all the time. What do you think of it? Is this crypto sell-off? Like, do you think it's just what goes up must come down? Do you think this is just like another progression in risk assets being thrown in the garbage?
I have an emergency room doctor friend in the redneck capital of the world, Western Pennsylvania. And he always tells me, we know when the price of fireworks goes down based on the number of idiots who come into the emergency room with their hands half blown off. Bitcoin is not an asset, it's a liquidity indicator. The more cheap, dumb money there is, the higher Bitcoin goes. And so we're going lower. The market's going risk off for now, and the tighter things get, the lower Bitcoin will go. I went into the room after we had a failed W bottom off the ascending line in Bitcoin this week. It broke out to 105 whatever, and then it came right back to the trend line. I just sold it. We failed the major retracement to the upper line, to the midline of the channel, and I said, guys, I'm out. And I exited around 102,000. I was waiting for some kind of regression to the mean there, at least the mid channel line on the large channel. It completely failed. So I'm out. I'm out of Bitcoin completely. I held it since 63,000, sold some at 126, and now I'm out of the trade. I think it's going lower.
Yeah. So Western Pennsylvania, did you ever eat shit on a shingle?
I can't say I have.
It's like chipped beef with gravy on bread. I had it in like central Pennsylvania in like coal mining country.
They
It's
just call it a
amazing.
hoagie, brother.
No, it's like white bread. Hoagie. I'm from New York. We don't say hoagie.
I'm painfully aware.
Oh God. All right, Derrick, what do you think of this Bitcoin mess?
I mean, so I was starting to almost become maybe sort of a little bit of a believer in Bitcoin as I saw some aspects of it actually act as digital gold, and all of a sudden maybe there's a little bit of a use case, and then it's kind of right out the window again, isn't it? So we're just back to an environment where there's this bubble in can't even call crypto an asset. It's not an asset. It's a collectible. It's like Beanie Babies, really. We're just back to this universe where we're coming to a little bit of a reality on quantum compute, like these quantum computing companies. I'm shorting these names that have $20 billion market caps and have $1.5 million in revenue. Crypto is even worse, right? Like they don't provide any revenue. They don't do anything. It's I think that we're just getting a little bit of a reality check with this market, especially as you're seeing some liquidity issues coming in a little bit. That hey, maybe you should actually own an asset that produces something, that produces cash flow, that has value, and crypto ain't it. And these crypto scams that Michael Saylor and Tom Lee are running, that ain't it. And that's just kind of where we're at. And if you fell for it, I'm sorry, but it's not too late to get out on a bounce. And I do think that they're due for a bounce, though. Actually, looking for MSTR to give a little bit of a bounce. I'm looking for BMNR to give a little bit of bounce. But those are technical trades, right? And I'm a trader. So I don't need to believe in something to get involved in it for a trade at a certain point. But I'll tell you, I definitely get a lot heavier and a lot greedier if it's something I believe in, and I can't believe in this stuff.
Yeah, so I will say there is a chance crypto is going to bounce, just because before we got on this call, I was searching in ChatGPT, what are the probabilities that MicroStrategy and BitMiner go bankrupt? So that could be a near-term bottom indicator. I just want to put that out there. Like, by the way, like on the quantum computing stocks, like, wouldn't it be cool if we rented a Winnebago and we traveled around the United States going to like the headquarters of these like quantum computing companies, like the one in an alleyway behind a body shop or like across the street from the Dollar Tree? Sean Hendelman is here. I'm going to ask him if he's willing to fund that.
Look, in terms of crypto, I think it's really simple. You wait till the Fed says they're buying assets, and then you buy Bitcoin. You knock yourself out with a Yanomamo blow dart. You wake up a week later and you're up 30%. I mean, I think it's as simple as that.
I mean, like.
And by the way, crypto is nonsense. I've always said that. It's just a great hedge against making money. But, you know, there are some moments where it moves.
Yeah, I'm wondering if, like, because I'll be honest, I don't think the Orange Man is doing so hot right now. And, like, I also think, I'm 95% sure Gavin Newsom will be president in 2028. Everybody feel free to timestamp that. Like, I wonder if that could mean the ultimate, like, Bitcoin crash, because I'm sure, like, all notions of Bitcoin reserves by the United States is getting tossed in the trash. I'm just thinking out loud here.
Yeah, I mean, I think Manga Mamdani's still up a couple billion on his crypto holdings, so I'm sure it's okay.
I haven't heard that one before.
That's pretty cool. Makes sense. It all makes sense now. Cheers. By the way, did you guys hear Staten Island is starting to secede from New York City? I heard that. I was like, God, I love Staten Island.
We've been trying to get rid of Staten Island. I got really dark here, didn't I? We've been trying to get rid of Staten Island for a long time. So
everybody wins, Derrick. Staten Island doesn't want to be New York. New York doesn't want Staten Island.
I don't know if Jersey wants to be there.
From Jersey that just got attached. You know, I love it. We
should probably make it a territory, like a Virgin Islands or Puerto Rico or something. No one wants that as part of their state.
I love Staten Island. I think
all right. Everyone's stated opinions on Staten Island are not necessarily indicative of T3 companies as a whole. So just remember that. Staten Island has many, many great qualities. I want everybody to know that.
It's the home of the Wu-Tang Clan.
That's a great
point. Yeah.
Very true.
Right.
And Wu-Tang is forever.
It is forever. Hashtag old dirty bastard.
JR,
where do we go from here, Kamo? Now that I've derailed the entire podcast, what do we do now?
I don't even know anymore. Like, yeah, our friend Matthew is saying, I thought everyone in here was investment advice and the company position. No, Matthew, like, we got to be honest. This one's a little bit of a shit show. Like, we're not even going to hide it. We don't know where this is going. We're all confused about Nvidia. We're all confused about Bitcoin. So let's talk about ideas. Did anybody have actionable ideas? Because Matthew is pissed, and if Matthew is pissed, I'm pissed.
Oh, God.
Where are we going to put our money?
Why don't I start?
All right. If there's anybody I can trust, it's Sammy.
Okay, so I just scanned the earnings calendar. So here's what we got that looks good long. The Joy with two Y's at the end, GOYY. That looks good. Looks higher as an earnings play. So they report. I don't know if they're. So basically, they either report after the close today or before the open tomorrow. And this one reports after the close today. So I like it higher. I'll see how it closes, but I like it higher. The ZTO to me looks higher too. I think it's a China stock and is holding up really well compared to the China stocks. But the VIPS is definitely a China stock, and this one is holding a lot better. So those are some long ideas that I'm eyeing for earnings. We did a bunch yesterday. Every single one of them, I think, worked. So those are the longs that I like for tonight. And then here's the shorts. So let me just add them. It's going to probably mix them up now. No, there they are. Oh, yeah, it mixed them up. So it's the MAGN as a short. That looks pretty good as an earnings play. looks really good, but super thin. That's the problem. ODD is a little bit extended, so that's what I don't like about it. So I'm not sure I'm going to play it. Jack always gaps down on earnings, just about almost always. As long as it doesn't pop, I don't want to see it pop. As long as it stays weak, we'll be looking to play it short. So the longs got mixed up with the shorts. I probably just should delete this whole list here real quick. And then here's the shorts one more time. We went over the 4 longs. Here are the shorts. 6 of them. That's the short watches. We'll see how they set up. The Klarna actually played it yesterday, so that already played out. It already reported. But these are the ones that I'm watching short as far as earnings plays go. My favorite is the MAGN, but that's pretty thin. So those are some short ideas for tonight. As far as long-term trades, I really like that PALI. Don't know how playable this is gonna be, but it looks kind of good as a long-term play. That's the PALI. We'll see, but there's not a lot that looks good at the moment. I'm watching the VFF. Is a what do you call it? A marijuana stock that's very, very bullish. Not in it yet, but watching the VFF also as a longer term play. But that's kind of it. The few earnings plays for tonight that I like, and then a couple of long-term watches. There's a few shorts, swing short, like the NWL looks good short, swing short. KMB also looks good swing short. It gapped under 5 years worth of basing, so every single person that bought it in the last 5 years or so is underwater. The only issue is that it's at support from like 2019, 2018. But so this one looking good short to me, the KMB. If the market cooperates also, this might actually crash. So, a couple of ideas, not a whole lot at the moment, mostly quiet. I'm watching the KMBR also short under the green bars though, but that's more of a swing because it's already down a lot. So some ideas for you. Hope that helps.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up Jack in the Box. I haven't eaten at Jack in the Box in forever. Makes me want to go to the West Coast again.
I've done it only once in my life, and I never went back again.
That's because you don't have any taste. I mean, Jack in the Box is wonderful. Okay, JR, Derrick, either of you guys want to jump in the arena?
Sure, I'll jump on in. Circling back to the AI trade that we were discussing earlier, I think what the AI trade is changing into is actually winners and losers. Up until now, it's just been this like a deal gets announced and the stock goes up, and it didn't matter what the quality of the deal was. It didn't matter if OpenAI can't afford the deal. OpenAI's got what $1.5 trillion in commitments now and like $13 billion in revenue. So we'll see how that one plays out. But everything would go up based on any announcement on anything related to AI. And now, really starting with Meta's earnings and to some degree Oracle, you're starting to really see kind of AI winners and losers, where they're looking at Meta and they're saying, hey, Zuckerberg, what are you doing here? You've got insane amounts of CapEx, but there's no real game plan on how this is going to work, how it's going to get monetized, and it doesn't seem like it's going very well. Versus Google, which is almost the opposite. They're obviously spending money as well, but it seems like they're kind of emerging themselves as a little bit of a winner on this AI trade. And you can see that obviously in the charts themselves, right? You go and you look at the Google chart. Maybe we're getting a little bit of a failed breakout even right now as we're talking, but overall, phenomenal relative strength compared to the NASDAQ, compared to the other Mag 7 stocks. You look at Meta, and Meta is absolute and utter trash. It's given back its entire year. It's getting absolutely smoked lower. So very straightforward. I like the idea of being long the winners of this AI trade, the apparent winners, and being short the losers. I like the idea of being short Meta and being long Google. And we can go through all the Mag 7 stocks, and some are better than others. But that's really where my head's at. With that said, a lot of the short trades that I like, and there's a whole bunch of them, Meta, Microsoft, Palantir. I still love the idea of being short a lot of these quantum computing stocks that we were mentioning earlier. they're all a little bit extended to the downside at this point. So to the point where, like I was saying before, I don't need to believe in the company to take it long for a bounce back trade. So some of these names I'm interested in actually buying oversold bounces in. I was long Meta for a quick day trade earlier today that I'm now out of. I was able to make a few bucks buying on the third 5-minute candle and kind of getting out of the way. And I've been able to do that on a few occasions. If I can ever get real appreciable bounces in these things, that I can get a new setup, a lower high on the daily chart in a Meta, as an example, that's something I want to pound to the short side. But for the moment, the setup's not there. It's a little bit too extended. It's kind of already worked. So you got to wait for those things to reset up. But I still like the idea of pushing stuff short here, especially as we get into 2026 on these names that are just not winning. Spending a lot of money and not winning.
JR, you ready?
Sure, buddy. Hold on. Let me hit my share screen.
You know, while JR is getting ready, I think I'm going to declare a crypto bottom right here, right now.
Famous.
Listen, I am the ultimate contrary indicator. So I'm calling a Bitcoin bottom just because I'm trying to. If I'm looking at it way out of the money puts on MicroStrategy and BitMiner, it's probably bottomed.
I think we have to wait for Derrick.
All right, guys, can you see my charts?
Yeah, they are gorgeous.
All right, so we have MIX here, which actually pierced the 21 here with an outside bar reversal. If this shakes out with a secondary turnaround bar through 46.94, looking for 49.68 and about $57. INBX, gorgeous. To call this a high tight flag would be correct, I guess. Gorgeous high tight flag here into 86.64 breakout. This is a stick of dynamite coming out of multi-year long base. So you already triggered the high tight flag. This is one of my favorite sets. When you have a like multi-year, like post-IPO base, and then a high tight flag, I look for a measured move. So I'm looking for 120 on INBX. RKA, I'm basically looking for this. You have a rounding bottom base off of a gap down. I'm looking for a two-wave corrected back to 61 from 33. ATEC, I'm looking for a measured move off this bullish consolidation through 21.16. Looks good to me. Volume's okay, not great. It does about 2 or 3 million shares a day. PNW, I'm just stalking this trade. It's a utility, 94.80 to 120. AstraZeneca, I can't. This is the market where I'm freaking. I got AstraZeneca on my watch list, but if you actually look at this W bond neckline break with a two-wave corrective back to the top, any move back to any bullish consolidation on 86.50, and I'm a buyer. URGN. This has bottomed out. It's transitioning now to secondary phase. I'd like to see a 2 to 3 week long base build here, but I like this for a swing long to $50. HCC. This is one of those. It's kind of like a weird reverse cup. Any pullback to $74 to $75, I'd be interested in buying HCC, met coal. OHI, this was on our watch list 2 Sundays ago. It broke through the had a nice neckline break on the W bottom, a measured move, and now any pullback, I'd love to see a falling wedge here, a curling wedge reversal into 42.68. MTSI, this is a really strong name. These are the charts I tend to like to swing trade. So we'll probably need to build a base for another 2 or 3 weeks here, absorb some of that overhead supply. But this looks great for a move to 250, 260. FRO, this one does on average about 2.5 million shares a day in volume. The measured move is $43. Looking for a viable pullback on the weekly, maybe a buy setup. All right, GL. This one went without us. It was on the watch list this Sunday, and you had an immediate little turnabout here. Once this gets through the highs here, I'm going to look to add 355, and I'm looking for $80-90 move. Very, very long, well-established base. Big effort by the bulls here, buying it back into an overhead supply zone. It looks like a lot of that's absorbed. And a lot of the names I've been looking at have been pharmaceutical, healthcare. And I can't believe I'm trading these names, but that's what seems to be bucking the bearish trend here. TRVI, you got your IPO-based breakout through 1065, which we were watching a couple of weeks ago. And I want to buy the bicep, the rejection, polarity shift, whatever you want to call it, of the prior resistance on support. Move to 21. I like it. I want some more of it. FORG. The J Frog is about to, after the gap up and the retracement, giving you a buy setup today. This J Frog, I think, goes back to $95. This looks really good. A massive bottom base, a transitional setup, a two-wave corrective lower, held the prior point of control in the accumulation phase, and it's looking like it's $95. MBX needs to build a right side base. Here's the more recent IPO base, and once it takes out 2750, I'm looking for a $23 measured move to $60. Oh, one last one, bonus one. Barrick Gold, as we predicted in our room, gold undid a lot of that technical damage in the last few days. And I know it doesn't look wonderful right now, but I do believe gold is going to go again through all-time highs here. Just a lot of absorption on that chart, in my opinion, after some profit taking. And I'm looking for a move to 45 off the buy zone here, around 37.70. And
you don't think gold went parabolic on the monthly GLD?
I think there are forces at play that are going to drive it higher. Here's what I'm seeing. So, I actually posted this on my Twitter last couple of weeks. I warned people not to get short gold and silver in October. And you saw here clear reaccumulative strength forming. Now you do have a lower high on the hourly, which has attracted more short traders. I believe that's what's happening here in terms of a reaccumulation. Is I think we're building a much bigger reaccumulative wedge, and I believe I hate to say this because it really is went parabolic, but this is. Gold, every attempt to get it past 39.40 is getting absorbed by buyers, Sammy. I totally agree that it went parabolic, but okay, you're seeing higher pivot lows, lower highs. You're seeing a complete P-shaped profile here. So volumetrically speaking, not a lot auctioned here and a lot of buyer interest through 41 and 29. So I do see this longer term. This may take another month or two, but I do see this into the apex of the wedge, taking out 41.73, pulling back, holding the level, okay, and then making a beeline for all-time highs. This kind of move, which is super parabolic, in my experience, takes 1 to 3 months to absorb, but it doesn't mean we can't go higher here. And watching the tape on gold every day, it seems to me like there are no desperate sellers, and it's getting bought on every pullback. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess we'll find out because if the market if this is a real top in the market, usually all asset classes get sold, gold included.
Oh yeah.
So we'll have more information by just next week, I think.
We'll see. Yeah, I'm currently not long gold. I have been several times throughout the past couple of years, but what I am seeing here is that there is a definite conscientious orderly accumulation of gold into the 39.50s as the demands up. Obviously, as you well know, Sammy, a lot of wedges can go the other way, right? And really punk the buyers and give you a nasty two-wave corrective lower, and that would take you to 36.80.
Yes.
We'll see
we'll find out. I mean, you're right. Gold has been holding like a champ. I agree, but we'll find out. We'll see.
We shall. Either way, it's going to be very exciting. Can't wait.
All right, guys.
Oh, God, do we not live in the most interesting times ever? We should be
Always.
grateful.
Always.
Okay, everybody, have a wonderful day. I apologize for the low quality of today's show. I have to take responsibility for that.
As
And
well you should,
whether you're
sir.
long NVIDIA, whether you're short NVIDIA, good luck. And be nice to each other.